and I'm your performance strategy guide and from strategystorming.co. And here to show you some new supermodels, what we call them. Why are they supermodels? Because they allow you to change perspective. They allow you to see things that you normally couldn't see in your typical strategy and in your typical model as well. And I'm going to be getting into that really, really soon as well. So today we're going to be talking about the hero's journey. The author Joseph Campbell created this seminal work many decades ago, how the hero moves from one place to another and creates this amazing arc as well across several different environments as well. And so what we're going to do is we're going to reimagine how can we see that, and then how can we actually use that is by changing our perspective. And I'm going to be showing you down here what that actually looks like. So how can we shift our perspective? How can we add some elevation to that? How can we reimagine and rethink what's ultimately important here for this type of activity as well? And the models themselves, they allow us to be able to see what is ultimately important here, and they allow us to again shift our perspective and give us some elevation so we can see that. And we can actually use these for different different problems, different challenges as well. And this supermodel is for ikigai, right? What do you love? What the world, what you can be paid for, what you're good at, and what the world needs. We can create the supermodels for the SWOT: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So we can actually again see the problem in a different light and a different perspective. We've got technical SEOs. We've got the business growth pathway strategy as well, that allows us to be able to see what we need and how we can actually build a business with a performance strategy as well. But today I want to kind of just give you a little bit of background of, okay, what can we use these for as well? And again, part of it's seeing the problem in a new light and a new perspective, and understanding what that problem is and how we can then decide on an ultimate solution that's elevated from our previous ones as well. The hero's journey, as I mentioned, author Joseph Campbell was the creator of that. And what he did was he imagined the story arc, and we see that in movies all the time. And what I wanted to do was to reimagine how can we actually isolate that into this model so that we can again see it and play with it as well. And I'm going to go through this specific steps, but there's four main groupings of this. And again, I've reinvented this. I've taken a look at how can we sort of be creative and use our curiosity to use a tool that really sees something differently as well. Put on the kaleidoscope glasses, as we say. But there's four different parts to the model, the hero's journey. The part number one is the call to adventure. Part number two is the ordeal and initiation. Part number three is unifying transformation, part three. And then part four is the road back, the hero's return. So within each of these, there's several different steps that we need to be able to take as well. And this is just to show you how it fits together. And then I'm going to create the model that you can see, like the ones I showed you, the supermodel, to be able to elevate our thinking. So for the call to venture, what are the steps that we need to go through? We need the ordinary world. We need to understand where it is right now. We need step number two, our call to adventure. And then step number three, the refusal of the journey as well. So if we can reimagine how do we actually see this problem, we can then see how it interacts and what factors are really, really important here. For the ordeal, part number two, ordeal initiation, we also have three steps here as well. So step number five, step number four, the mentor and the helper. Number five is crossing the threshold, and number six, testing our allies and our enemies as well. And if you even think of a story like The Lord of the Rings, right? This is the typical hero's journey. Almost every Disney Pixar movie that you've ever seen has this specific arc as well. And when you can see it and identify it, you'll be able to understand the story a little bit better. So moving on into part four of the hero's journey, unifying transformation is part three, right? What steps do we need here? We need the approach, right? Where are we going? How are we going to solve this problem? We need the ordeal, right? What are they really struggling with? And then finally, the reward as well. And then part number four, the road back, the hero's return, right? This is, the epilogue where they've done their mission and they're on their way back. And what's really important here, the road back, the atonement. What did they actually learn? What are they going to be doing differently? How are they going to be able to do it differently as well? And then the final return as well. So if we put all these pieces together, we can actually, again, create a cute, cool little model, supermodel that allows us to see what that looks like. And so we can take it from this flat PDF, this uh, template that we use. And if you'd like to download one copy, or rather just write supermodel in the comments and I'll send them to you. Or you can go to strategystorming.co and download some of the free PDFs for the SWOT, the SEO, the GPS, and that sort of thing. But we want to take this model and we want to elevate it. We want to create that perspective change. And how did we do that? We cut it out of a piece of paper. We've got all the information on it. And I'm just going to add some little bit of glue so we can see what it actually looks like when it's all completed, as well as a specific model, because that's the ultimate power. That's the real power of this, is being able to hold it in your hands and being able to see what it actually looks like. And we can then see how the different sides interact and how they play with each other and against each other as well. And ultimately, that's what we get. We get this strategy supermodel that allows us to see this. And in this case, this one is for the hero's journey, right? So we can see all these different steps, right? We talked about the call to adventure, part 1, the ordeal and initiation, part 2, the unifying transformation, part 3, and then finally, the road back and the hero's return as well. So we can see all these in one specific little tool. So we can put these, we can use these for performance strategy, but we can also use them to kind of see things and see some of the challenges and see things that we do in a different light with a different elevation as well. Ultimately, what do we want to be able to create? Competency, clarity, and certain, and those become the summit that we're trying to rise to. So in the hero's journey, that's very typical too, is we want it to be able to create that competency, that clarity, and that certainty to get us to to the adventure and back again as well. And so we need to be able to see that, and we need to be able to play with this in our hands so that we can then again change our perspective of how do we solve problems for that as well. So there we have it. We have a simple little tool. We've taken some concepts, we've rearranged them, we've used our curiosity and our creativity to be able to reimagine how we can see problems and challenges, and then we can create that solution for them as well. So hopefully that's been helpful. I really appreciate you taking the time to be able to come out and watch this and see how can I actually use a supermodel for my business as well. And ultimately, that's what we want to use these for, is how can we use these specifically for business, because that's how we really use that power. We can create a roadmap, we can create a blueprint and an accountability outcome, we can create a radar, we can create all these fascinating extra tools as well that allows us to build that performance strategy for our business as well. So thank you once again. If you'd like some of the free PDFs that I do have available to create your own supermodel, your own strategy supermodel, just type supermodel in the comments and I'll get those to you, or go to strategystorming.co and you'll be able to find the free PDFs as well throughout the site also. So thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate it. Hopefully it's been helpful, and we will see you next time.